We're rolling into week 9, and it's time to look at the 10 waiver wire running backs that everybody's looking to pick up off waivers this week, and we're going to see whether or not we need them for our fantasy football teams. But what you need to do right now is click that subscribe button. Tap it with your finger on your phone, click it with your mouse on your computer, whatever you need to do to get the job done. We're doing deep dives on the waiver wire players every single day. Lesser known players, that way you know more about them. We're helping you set your lineups and everything else. Click that button. Stop missing out. But let's look at our first candidate right here, and it's Leonard Fournette. And we're going to have to do a separate video on him, a unique video, because there's a lot of questions about him. He's signed to the Bills practice squad. He's on the Bills right now. High-powered offense who can buoy anybody in fantasy production as long as they're on the field, getting opportunities. And the thing about him is he's on the watch list at least. He's on the watch list to see what happens to him going forward in this offense. Though you need to pick him up right now, not really. But is he a stash play? Yes. And like any other stash play, you're waiting for stuff to happen for him to get more opportunity, whether it's injury, whether it's just him getting moved up to the 53, whether it's him getting a roll around the goal line. You're just waiting for some things to happen for Leonard Fournette. If you want to get in early, go ahead. It's a free roster spot as a stash. Look at him as a stash play in a high-powered offense. Don't look at him as a sure thing. Don't look at him as the old-school Leonard Fournette. He's been floating around on the waiver wire this long for a reason. He's an expensive old man right now at the running back position, and a guy you just got to be speculative with. That being said, being speculative with Zach Charbonnet might not be a bad thing, as he outsnapped Kenneth Walker last week, 34-24, but it's not Charbonnet versus Kenneth Walker. It's Charbonnet versus that calf, and can he gain something from that? Because Kenneth Walker's been dealing with a calf injury. That slowed him down a little bit. He was out of practices last week. We knew that was going to impact Kenneth Walker in this game. We saw that in the touch share. We saw that in the touches. Zach Charbonnet got some workload here. 5 rush attempts for 53 yards. Not too shabby, and was using the passing game as well. But thinking about this, though, if Charbonnet can get more touches, get more opportunities, this could be a mess going forward for both running backs. Kenneth Walker's still good. He's still got a lot of burst. He's still got a lot of pop in the step. But Charbonnet could be earning more workload going forward, but who knows how much that's going to be. These guys might be siphoning off each other, but also for Zach Charbonnet and his fantasy value, as we talked about calf injuries here, they can just re-injure any given moment. Kenneth Walker was on the field. That's a good sign. However, they could re-injure on any moment, and if that does happen, then Charbonnet could be a step up in workload, and if that happens, you're going to want him off waivers. He's an excellent stash just in case that happens, and just in case he starts getting more workload and these two running backs start siphoning off each other. Now we're looking at Amari Demercado, not the sexiest running back, but you're getting 19 touches per game right now. That's in his last 2 games. The touch share started to ramp up, 75% opportunity share. He's running 17.5 routes per game. That's a lot for a running back. He's a guy that you want on the back end of your roster. You play the matchups with. If you're hurting at running back and he's there at waivers, pick him up. You're getting touches. You're getting touches, and touches could lead to points. That's what we're looking at here with Demercado. Not super sexy, as we got 8.9, 11.5, 2.7, but still, touches are touches, and on the back end of running backs, if they're getting you almost 20 touches a game, that could lead to something in certain game scripts. Now we're looking at RoShaun Johnson, and we got to look at the snaps here. Week 8 snaps. Johnson, 24. Foreman, 21. Evans snuck in there with 18. Then we look at the touches. Johnson, 9. Foreman, 10. Evans, 7. So it looks like it's getting a little bit messy, and they are the Bears. They are the Bears. They do a lot of weird stuff. Watch the news headlines. Watch the transactions. The Bears do a lot of weird things. That being said, it was against the Chargers. This was a good matchup for the running backs, and that being said, you can put any of the running backs in. They could do a little something here and there. He rushed for 3.5 yards per carry, 6 carries, 21 yards. He got a little bit of workload here, but still was using the passing game as well. Again, we're waiting for things to ramp up with him. Just coming back from a concussion. We were out for some time for a little bit. So allow him to get a little bit of a ramp-up period. We also got Foreman there, who's no joke, who deserves some opportunity, who deserves some touches. This might be messy for the next couple weeks. Johnson is an upside play, young running back with some good specs to his name from his college highlight tape, from his athletic specs, from his size-adjusted speed, a guy to monitor, a guy that you want on the back end of rosters. Now we're looking at Taj Spears, and we need something to happen to Derrick Henry. We either need him to get traded, which that is less likely by the minute, or an injury, which is highly likely considering he's getting a lot of touches, getting a lot of workload, getting a lot of opportunity. But this is Derrick Henry's show. Even though Taj Spears getting a large amount of snaps in this offense, competing with Henry for snaps, those guys are looking good. Taj Spears is looking good for a rookie. That being said, if something happens to Derrick Henry, which is still likely to happen, or likely to happen for any running back who's getting that much workload, not because of Derrick Henry, not pointing him out, but that's just what happens to running backs. It's the nature of the beast. Taj Spears, considering that the team trusts him, they're moving the ball a little bit better with Will Levis. Will Levis slings lasers. He may not target running backs as much. He might be just slinging it downfield, or he might have that Baker Mayfield-esque target share where he likes to sling it deep, and if it's not deep, we check it down. It could end up being that, but we need a sample of games here. Derrick Henry's the guy right now until something happens to Derrick Henry. Taj Spears is in for a large workload if something happens to Derrick Henry. Now we're looking at Pierre Strong. It was messy last week. Week 8 snaps here. Pierre Strong, 24. Jerome Ford, 26. Kareem Hunt, 27. Touches. Strong, 11. Ford, 10. Hunt, 15. It was a mixed bag here, and maybe they shouldn't have let Ford play. Maybe they should have gave him another week off. Maybe if this injury lingers a little bit, maybe we get more opportunity out of Strong. Plus, Ford is spelled wrong here. That's kind of cool, but still, Pierre Strong's got upside with that speed. Maybe he's starting to sneak some touches here, but again, we're watching Ford. We're watching his health because him mixed with Hunt really kills the opportunities for Strong. However, if one of those running backs are out, Strong's going to get some opportunities, and with him running 4.3 speed and him being used in the passing game, there's opportunities for Strong to have pop-off weeks. When you have a running back that could pop off on any given play, and when they get some extra touches, that could lead to something if you're trying to scrape together a lineup. Now we're looking at Chuba Hubbard. Last 2 games, not the sexiest, but 17 touches per game, 70.8% opportunity share, 7.4 PPR points per game. This backfield could get messier if Miles Sanders remains healthy, starts getting better. They could start mixing things up. Hubbard is getting touches, which is something you want out of your running backs. He's the guy that you pick up just for touches. You just want those touches, and you hope it leads to something. That's all you're looking at from Chuba Hubbard. Devin Singletary, kind of the same thing. Last 2 games, 47.1% snap share, 44.1% opportunity share, 12.5 touches per game, but is not leading to much. 6 fantasy points, 7, 0, 10, 6, 3, and 1 on the season. So it's not like he's being super productive. It's not like Dameon Pierce is being super productive. We kind of need one of those guys to get hurt, to one of those running backs getting more opportunities, really, because we need one of these guys to take it over, because splitting it is not enough, because they really push it to the wide receivers. The offense has been in some weird game scripts. It's been up and down. Plus, we got rookie quarterback play that's up and down because that's just how rookie quarterback play works. CJ Stroud's been great this year, but he's still a rookie, and we get rookie game scripts that happen from time to time. Devin Singletary, though, if you need touches, he's getting them. If you need guys who are getting snaps, he's getting them. And that's what you're getting from Devin Singletary. Now we're looking at Devon Cook. And some of these players make these lists not because they're endorsements. They make the list because they get a lot of questions. And I get a lot of questions about that player. And I've been getting a lot of questions about Devon Cook. And it's because of the trade rumors. And you read the headlines. You see the things coming out. You see the posts on Twitter. The thing about this trade deadline ends today at 4 o'clock or so. So that being said, we're going to know before we need to put in our waiver claims. You just watch it. If he doesn't get traded, you don't want him. He looks like he's dust. It's the Breece Hall show. If he's dealt to an interesting situation, then he's a speculative flyer. And that's it. Because we are not seeing good things out of him right now. If he walks into a situation where he's getting touches with another team, then maybe we can perk our ears up a little bit. Maybe we can do that. But Devon Cook right now, a little sketchy. A guy you do not want to waste fab on, really, unless some big news hits. Now we're looking at Royce Freeman and Daryl Henderson. Last 2 games, snap shares look like this. Royce Freeman getting 31 snaps. Daryl Henderson getting 34 touches. Hendo got 34. And Royce Freeman got 21. Royce Freeman scored a touchdown last week against the Cowboys. Henderson was the guy to get the week prior. And the thing about this, I think these 2 running backs are just going to siphon off each other. And you're going to want the running back who gets the touchdown. You're just gambling a bit. Henderson might be the better gamble because he's getting more touches, more opportunities. But Freeman's the bigger back, might be getting more goal line play. We need a little bit bigger sample here to really nail this down. But once we get that bigger sample, the season's almost over. The thing about this is you really do not want these running backs unless you absolutely need them. And if you need a guy to patch that hole in the wall, your expectations aren't that high. You're just hoping to get by for the week, and hopefully you get 10, 12 fantasy points on that given matchup. So really, these guys are just gambles. But those are 10 running backs that we're looking at waivers for week 9. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.